Hello, and welcome to another Let's Play. Today, as you can see, we are doing Etherlords II again. Now, last time in the Let's Try video, we had a look at some deck editing and played a match which failed miserably. But in all fairness, elementals counter treants. But let's just go straight into it and see what we can do. I want to start with getting rid of that deck we made because it was horrific. There we go. Now, as you guys can see, I've got a lot of decks here anyway, so I'm just going to pitch random, v random, and see what comes up. That's the better way to do things anyway. Ah, it's given me elementals. What a refreshing change. Now, he's a Vital deck. He has free casting. Most of my Vital decks are specialised towards something rather than something broader like free casting. I'm going to assume ticks or Finguses or Fingi. However that's supposed to be. What have we got? Okay, he's giving himself some mana, and he's ticks. That's wonderful. Okay, I'll just let him finish casting his stuff, and then I'll show you what's going on here. Okay, that's a horrible hand to fight against. Right, what he's done here, he's given himself some mana, cast his first tick, got free casting, hence the red swirly thing here, and all the swirly stuff around him too. Cast 3 of them in total. Now the green guys, tick workers, increase power of all ticks by 1, and the brown ones, toughness of all ticks by 1. As you can probably tell from that rather outrageously cast effective turn, he is more of a swarmer deck than a heavy hitter. A bit like the treants, but I don't know, they're not exactly a swarmer deck, but they're kind of there. Now the only thing I can really do here at the moment is play a wall and try not to take too much damage until I can get something a bit heavier going. I know he has First Strike in his deck, the haste spell I used last time and then didn't do much with. So I need to try and get a few of his guys down before they're strong enough to kill my elementals. It's a race against time with him. Right, what have I got? I've got a life tap spell, which there's no point using on a wall because it doesn't attack. Life tap only works if you attack the enemy hero. Or a toughness spell. I wonder what I'm going to pick. Oh, free casting. At least I get to save some mana for casting nothing. That'll be nice. End my turn, nothing useful worth doing. He's played a card to increase power of all of his creatures by 2, Strength of Woods, which he's then going to use to quite some effectiveness. Those kind of cards are particularly good in swarmer decks. You don't want to power up 1 or 2 heavy creatures with small power-ups. You'd rather power up everything. But unfortunately for him, I'm a Kinnet deck. I have spells to dispel stuff. But I'm not being drawn towards it this time. I've got a pair of fire elementals here. Now, fire elementals, as you might remember from last time if you've watched, they have First Strike, so that should be a little interesting. Unless he plays something to give him First Strike, he won't attack here. Well, he's playing some ticks. That's pretty clear. But no attack. Problem being though, his ticks are getting strong. I'm going to dispel that, reduce their power. I'm kind of wanting to attack here. I'm going to lose my elemental because it's just going to gang up about 3 on 1 against him, possibly more. But it's going to soften them up. He won't block. Interesting. Take some early damage, deal some damage later. Ether Harvest. I had this in my treants deck last time. Every time you cast a creature, get 2 mana back. Now what's he done here? He's got a tick mother, is it? Mother tick? Yeah. Gives all ticks restless, so that can cause a problem. And they also have the ability to spawn tick warriors. They're not much stronger than the regular ticks, but, you know, slightly more attack power. All these little numbers do add up, unfortunately. So we'll play another fire elemental, play the whole First Strike advantage while I have it. Get rid of his Ether Harvest, although it's a little late on that one, but oh well. I'll go for another attack. I want him to block. Not summon more ticks, preferably. Interesting, he's blocked with a mother. Less ticks spawning. Now he starts eating my elemental. The mother was the one thing I didn't want him to block with, really. I want to reduce their stats, not reduce their numbers. Because their numbers are doing quite fine anyway. Ah, Vitality. This is a spell I could have put in my Treants deck if they didn't have regeneration. It's another big global buff for him. It gives all of his creatures regeneration, as you can see there. I'll show the spell. Now, where it says the 2 in brackets, the Treants have regeneration 1. When they die, they only cost 1 mana to bring back. These guys cost 2. So it's good against decks like mine that don't really swarm the enemy. You can afford 2 mana here and there. But he has not got the mana to actually regenerate any, so I think I want to kill a worker here and reduce their power. Block the Tick Warrior, because he's got the most damage, and the wall doesn't really do anything anyway, apart from be a wall, hence the name. Take the damage. I'll probably fast forward that a bit. There we go. Gotta love the spacebar in this game. Right, what have we got going for me here? Not a huge amount. I really need another fire elemental, but look what we've got. Air elemental, useful. These are the unblockable guys, low power, high cost, but the unblockable thing really makes it worth it. Now, I've got a free casting there. I'm slightly inclined towards getting the water elemental to try and push a disenchant to get rid of that sodding regeneration. What do I want to do from here? I could attack. What would happen if I attack? He'll block with a warrior. That'll be 4 power gone. He'll block with a worker. Yeah, I'll only kill a warrior out of that, and then he'll just eat me alive. It wouldn't be worth the attack here. So we'll end and see what's going on. More Tick Warriors, great. Just what I wanted. Tick Mother, that's probably a waste of a slot. You can only have up to 10 monsters at a time, that's what I mean by a waste of a slot here. And sorry if you can hear that, I have got steam running in the background, but there we go, that is just the way of things. I'm going to go for, I'm not going to summon him up, I want to power up my current air elemental. Make him useful in some kind of regard. Right. What I want to do here, I want to try and make him block me with something just to start thinning out his numbers, but to stop him from ganging up on me, I'm going to put this spell on he used on me last time. If the creature goes to the graveyard, it will return to play under the command of the owner of the enchantment, that will be me, and I'll gain life equal to toughness. Now, I'm going to pop it on this guy and attack with him. If he blocks, I kill something. If he kills it, I get life back, and don't lose anything. So, I think that's worth it. And I still have enough for my air elemental. Luckily, I got that free casting when I did Might power up, which was that one to increase his power. So I think I'm good to try and attack here. Now I don't want to push my fire elemental out. I want to use him and his first strike advantage for defense here. But I will push him out due to his nice shiny new enchant. And he of course is unblockable and gives me health back when he attacks. Always useful. Now he's done what I thought he would here. He's just going to take advantage of his regeneration and nothing really happens. Now of course, since the enchant is on the player and not the tick, I cannot dispel it by attacking a tick. Would be nice if I could, but no. Okay, so he spawned another Tick Warrior. That's the icon for the ability of it. Oh my good god, that is a Curse of Hunger. That makes all of his creatures hit themselves. I want him to play another Strength of Woods to power his creatures up. If I play it as it is now, the only creatures that will die, will try to die, is the warriors, because they have power equal to toughness. There's 4 of them. That would be 8 mana to his regen. He's got 6. I'd only kill 1 in total. That would not be worth it. That is a big spell. I want to wait for the opportune moment on that one, or until a bloody emergency. So I'll play another wall. Can't hurt to have more walls. Put my last life tap spell on the unblockable guy, because at least that'll get through. And I'll play the same sort of move again. Send in the air elementals, because they can't be touched. Send in him, because, well, he can't be touched either. And then see what he does. He'll do the same sort of thing again. Yes, he has. This tends to happen in games that last a certain amount of time. We get to a stalemate where neither team wants to really push an attack. But I couldn't really push an attack more if I wanted. He's just ended his turn. He has got nothing. So I'm going to carry on building up my elementals. Eventually I'll outnumber him. He gets his mana back because of the Sodding Ether Harvest, which is there. He's got so much mana at this point. Attack with you, attack with you, attack with you, end my turn, he'll block with that, I'll get some life back. I'm quite happy with this situation at the moment. It may not be the most intense duel in the world, but it's going to be a win at this rate. The only things I can see him doing is pulling a Strength of Woods out. That's a haste, that's not good either. Forgot about that. They now have First Strike and Trample at the cost of 2 ether. That's pretty good actually. I want to get rid of that. Of all the things he's got, oh, I could get rid of Vitality. I'll get rid of Vitality. No more regeneration for you. Right, let's try that again. I'm tempted to mass attack, but I don't know if it'll be worth it. If I attack with him, he'll just use his First Strike advantage, because Water Elementals don't have it. He'll use 2 warriors, kill me, I'll kill one of his. And the warriors aren't the ones I want to target. I want to target the workers and the queens to reduce their stats. I'll just stick with my regular attacking for a minute, I think. I'll keep the fire elemental back. He's just lost all of his enchants. I think he's given up at this point. He can't really touch me now. Ancient Forest. Now that's an interesting spell. It's not really useful against me. It's a spell you generally use against Swarmer decks like his. Any creatures with 5 power or less cannot attack. It's pretty harsh, and at 2 mana is very, very powerful spell. As far as I'm aware, it's quite costly on Frozen Flames, which is the generally the resource you want to keep down, because everything costs it that is good. I don't need another wall at this point. I'm quite happy just to leave that in there. I will grab a Fire Elemental, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I attack with him, unblockable, 6 damage, 6 health, win. Nice and simple. And there he goes. Quite happy with that. I think I'll do 1 or 2 more, just to give you guys the hang of what a winning duel actually looks like in theory. I'll go random again. I might bring out the snakes at some point. You guys need, if anyone who isn't familiar with Etherlords II has to see a snake deck in action. They are something pretty spectacular. I'll probably play them last, so I'm not fighting against them. I'm not. Finguses. Ah. Right. Finguses are defensive vital creatures. They do not attack at all, but they have abilities that do damage instead, which rest them. So they have very, very high, ludicrously high stats in fact, but the whole non-attacking thing just means they're used to kill things that attack stupidly. Now it looks like I'm playing a Walls deck of some description, so we're both defensive decks, but I kind of fancy his chances over mine. We'll see what happens. I've got nothing to play. He's got a Carnivorous Fingus, 0/6. It's basically the standard Fingus for him. Their ability isn't like a regular Fingus. It sacrifices itself and does damage equal to its power, rather than a set number like the rest of them. And the rest of them generally have quite a low set number, like 1 and 2 here and there. But the problem, although they are like the mainline regular low-cost defenders, he has a specialization called Finguses Vitality. Has a chance to be brought back to life whenever they die, so he can repeatedly sacrifice his creature after bulking it out with high power spells. That's generally how I do it, and I'm assuming the AI will do the same. The AI can be a bit stupid in this, but they generally play pretty good moves. So we'll see what happens. What I've played is a Suffocating Gas. All heroes and creatures receive 2 damage at the end of every turn. Now, you may think, well that's a bit stupid, I'm going to take damage as well. But there's always a plan behind these things. Specialization, Suffocation Resistance. Now, providing I'm lucky, I won't take damage and neither will my creatures. So, the idea is just to do my gases outdamage his Finguses. They will early game, but later on, maybe not. Now, he has played a bit of a stupid move there. He must have just wanted to spend some mana. He played Symbiosis. 2 life for each creature in play. So, probably not the best move, considering each side can have up to 20 creatures, totaling on a rather large amount of health. But I don't know what I want to do here. We're both Walls deck. Is there much point in me playing Walls? Not for a minute at least. I'll play another Gas. I'm hoping he won't out-heal these gases with more of those spells. My specialization procs twice, didn't take any damage. Now, he's got a giant Fingus. They're the second bigger ones really. Instead of sacrificing themselves, they've got the mainline ability, rest, do 1 damage. Nice and simple. And like all Finguses, they cannot attack, represented by the red sword there. Right, I'm going to go for another gas spell. As far as I remember, I stocked up on quite a lot of these in this deck when I made it. The idea of this deck, of course, is just to defend while the gases wear them down, while my creatures and myself being immune to said gas. Right, that's an interesting spell with no sound in it for some reason. Right, I did manage to kill one of his Finguses, but his specialization saved the other one, I think. He's played a Dominance of the Wood to increase power and toughness by 1 of every creature he owns and will own until disenchanted. Now, he's also played a spell called Spiritual Web here. Every time a creature dies, 1 health. Again, this synergizes quite well with his whole sacrificing ability. As far as I remember, every time that sacrifice ability is used, it counts as dying. So that web procs, and then he regenerates it and gets more health from the web. So it's a nice little combo I've got in that deck, providing it works. I can't remember if it does or not. But regardless, even if I wasn't a wall deck, they'll just be picking at my creatures 1 by 1 when they've got a number of Phoenixes, killing them, and slow stream of health flows into him. I'll explain what my spells are later on. I'll explain what that is later on. These are just walls of various descriptions. 2/5 flying, regeneration. Walls of regeneration are invaluable in any deck. I think Synthet's are the only ones that have them actually. Always good to have. The bigger version of that one, 6/9 regen, flying. And then this boy, the 0/8 Wall of Distortion. Sorry, 1 second, clear my throat. Right, as a wall, obviously he cannot attack, but in dire situations he can sacrifice himself and prevent all damage done this turn, just completely stop an enemy's attack. Which, when you're playing with a regular deck instead of a wall deck, can be very, very useful. I mean, they will come out to attack, you've stopped them, they go back rested, and you finish them. It's a bit like the Glitter Dust spell I had in the Treants deck to make all enemies rested. Assuming that it works that way. I'm a little rusty at this game, so I don't know if it will. But regardless, invaluable to surviving. This spell, as you can see, he's got 0 mana over here. But this spell, when I cast it, removes all of his ether, so good against fighting Treants decks, stop them from regeneration, and deals damage equal to mana removed. Now there are some decks that build up stacks and stacks of mana, so this can be very, very powerful against them. But here it's not going to be much useful. It might be the odd point of damage here and there, but I'll probably wait it out until you've got about 10 or so mana and do a bit more damage. My suffocation resistance working a lot, always nice. Now what I've noticed with specializations in this, can you stop spitting at me please? What I've noticed is some of them tend to have a higher proc chance than others regardless of how much luck you have in your deck. He's played another health spell, he's just trying to keep himself ahead of me at the moment. I'm not doing very well. He's summoned another Carnivorous Fingus, is that? Yes it is. More walls. Another Wall of Distortion. Tap life, that's good. Want to save it though. Pay 2 ether even, and then pay X ether on top of that as much as I like, and then drain that much health off them. So another way to survive through my own gases, drain his health. And considering he keeps restoring it, doesn't seem like a bad idea. Specializations work again and again and again. This is the Finguses' like key player really. The giant. Can you stop doing that? The Gargantuan Fingus. Even that's the giant. That's the Gargantuan. He has a 2 damage ability instead of 1, and boosts the power of all of his Finguses. So very, very useful, but quite expensive at 7 mana even, geez. But as you can see, their power does go up quite quickly. 5/11, he started at 3/9. He's boosted himself up by 1 of each, and he's got an enchant for the other one. But again, I'm not so bothered about what his creatures do. I'm a walls deck, so is he effectively. So I'll probably just not bother playing creatures here. I mean, it's not like it's going to attack me. None of his creatures can. What I will do, though, is play this gas. Power of all creatures reduced. by 2. It will slow his progress down, building the attack power up, and these guys do some serious damage later on, because they are the main way they do get the kills. They can do some extreme damage later on, because as far as I'm aware, I've put spells in there called Bless. It's a 2 mana thing. It lasts 1 turn, puts a +4/4 on the creature. So when you chain sacrifice it while regenerating it constantly with that specialization of his, you can do a lot of damage very quickly, unexpectedly. Right, what have I got here? Another Wall of Distortion. Yay, I'm saved. I'm going to save that until he's not cast anything when he starts running out of spells, but I might think about playing this, the tap life spells, soon enough. But for now, I'll just wait it out. So I'm glad it gave me a fight like this, because it shows that both decks are capable of playing even without creatures. Although the deck I'm playing against, the Finguses, usually thrive on killing the creatures for the health or spiritual web. But it's no biggie. Okay, spits me a lot, plays another spiritual web spell. If you're wondering what these icons are, it's just the icons of their abilities. Another tap life spell, that is interesting. Right, what I am going to do, I'm going to play a couple of Walls of Distortion, just to make sure I don't discard these spells. When discarding spells, it always takes the rightmost ones. It doesn't just pick randomly when you've got too many, it's always the rightmost. So I'd like to keep those 2 away from the right, really. That did show something about my specialization. When it works, it doesn't necessarily work on everything. Everything has its own individual chance. So he could just murder my creatures like that. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. So that's the one downside of playing Walls with this deck. Your creatures can die, but these are only used in emergencies for the sacrifice ability. I mainly rely on the regeneration to keep my walls going. But it's nice to have the attack power of the Wall of Blades, because that is rather high for a wall. Right. I do want to start playing Tap Life, but I'll save it until I've got max mana, because I'm going to play that for 2. Reduce the power of his guys even more, slow down his progress. That's all I need to do at this point, slow him down and keep myself sustained. Well, it's not looking too good for him at the moment. He's going to spit at me a lot. I'm just going to skip through all those. Right, I'm going to start playing Tap Life, I think, and start bringing this to an end. Get some health off him, end turn, gases finish it off. And carry on for a while, you know, why not? Good game, good game. Now, I would, as a last duel in this video, like to show the power of a Snakes deck. I know I said in my last video I will go over some Pale spells at some point, but I think they're going to need a whole video to really show what they are capable of. So I'll go for Snakes versus, I don't know, some slow, powerful deck with big lumpy creatures, like a dragon deck for example, and show you what they can do against a lot of players who tend to pick big lumpy decks like this. Now that is an outstanding hand to start with, lots of snakes and a mana buff. Put myself up to 4 mana, play a couple of tree snakes and a lake snake. Now I'll show you what these guys do. The lake snake, every time he attacks something, reduces power and toughness permanently by 1 of the creature, and still does the damage. So he effectively does 4 damage in a turn, and 1 of them is permanent. Very, very useful early game for 2 mana. First strike as well. Extremely powerful. Now, these guys, you're thinking 1/1, first strike, no biggie. Wrong. Enchants the hero that receives damage to receive 1 damage at the end of every turn. Now, you're thinking 1 damage. Imagine that when it stacks up with, say, a specialization like that. Every time a snake does damage to an enemy, it has a chance of doing an envenoming spell. Now, I haven't covered what that is yet. It's basically a spell like their poison that does 2 damage every turn, and the chance of this specialization proccing is high. So we'll see what he does. He'll probably, play a wall. I'm interested to see what he blocks. He's either going to block the damage from the lake snake, or block the poison from the tree snakes. A player would generally block the tree snake, because 1, that would weaken the wall to 0/5, and 2, that does so much more damage over the course of the fight because of their poisons. But we'll see what he does. The AI tends to make a bit of a wrong decision here. It's blocked the Lake Snake as I thought it would. Specialization. Specialization. And reduced toughness. That's no biggie. They're just there because you can only put so many of one spell in one deck. If I could, I'd just stack these guys in the slightly bigger versions that do poison again. Right. Poison, 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 poison. Already we're doing 6 damage a turn. Plus on top of what these guys do, which isn't much, but as I was saying, the bigger versions of tree snakes, the swamp snakes, it's still 1 damage every turn from the poison, but they're a 2/2. You know, vary it up a bit. When you're making a deck, you can only put up to 4 of one spell in at a time, so it's best to maximize what the deck has got, and that's those 2. The lake snakes, of course, are very invaluable against fights that might last a bit longer, reducing enemies' toughness, because snakes as a rule are weak. I mean, look at the numbers. That 3/2 is the best the snakes have to offer, apart from a grass snake. Which, grass snakes, I'll show you what they do, actually, if I remember. Is there an encyclopedia? There is. I'll just quickly show you guys what a grass snake is. Every time it deals damage, it gains 1 power and toughness. So they can stack up some crazy numbers. Right, I better go and see what it's doing. It looked like a wall of wind. That was a wall of wind. Slightly bigger wall, but has an ability to increase its power. When you pay X mana, pays 5 mana, gets 5 power. Now, the damage here he's taking is just outrageous, as you guys can see. I mean, he's down to 20 health in, what, 3 turns? Let's see how much damage he's actually taking. 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 damage a turn already. So I think I've pretty much proved my point on the power of Snake's decks. I mean, this is just outrageous. He's going to be dead at the end of this turn. Do damage. I'll just fast forward these. Now we just watch the pain. Oh no, he has to finish his turn. No, he doesn't. He's just given up. He's just ended his turn. Look at that down there. 13 enchantments. Pretty much all of which are poison. Dead. 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 And like the gases, they'll carry on poking for a while. Yay. Okay, thank you for watching, guys. Please rate, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.